Hi, this video covers some highlights of the gameplay in ELF 110 Space. You're seeing directed gameplay with some specific setups and scenarios to highlight key aspects of real spaceflight. First, let's look at the Kerbal Space Center. It looks suspiciously like the NASA Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida, maybe around 1950. This is everything you need to run a space program. The big ones here are the vehicle assembly building and the launch pad. We'll get there, but let's go to research and development first. NASA was thrown with a bunch of aerospace junk left over from World War II, and that's pretty much where we start play also. So our first task is developing technology for improved flight. Successful flights get you more science and technology for better rockets. You can see there's a pretty advanced tech tree extending past the modern era, including real technologies under development today. This is the VAB, or the Vehicle Assembly Building, where we put together our rockets. The parts are on the left, and at this early stage of the game, we don't have the science to unlock anything but the most basic rocket parts. The parts are realistic, and it's not always easy to accomplish your mission with what's available. We're trying to get to orbit with this rocket. Let's see how it goes. Alright, let's go to the launch pad and light it up. That blue thing in the center is the nav ball, our main navigation instrument, but we'll get that out of the way so we can see what's going on. As we ascend, you can see that the vehicle is spinning in place or rolling. That's not on purpose. The solid rocket motors on the outside are very powerful engines, but they can't be throttled. At this stage of the game, we don't have a better engine. A high thrust liquid engine will be best, but we just don't have one. And you can see the rocket is starting to heat up from excess speed and continuing to roll. Basically, this rocket is nearly out of control. Hopefully we can get it back in control once we stage off the solid rocket motors. Alright, we're now back in control and we need to do some maneuvering. All we've done so far is go straight up, since we didn't really have control off the launch pad. Orbit requires that we be high, but also moving horizontally. So we need to add horizontal speed, ideally to the east, or 90 degrees. Both Kerbal and Earth rotate toward the east. So we already have some speed to the east from the rotation of the planet. You can see we set the nav ball to 90 degrees, and we burn until we're moving fast enough horizontally that we always fall past the planet. That's basically what orbit is. We need to do a little bit more maneuvering to get into orbit. The blue line is our projected path, and once it's circular around the planet, we're actually in orbit. That looks like that's it right there. A lot of the maneuvering in space looks like this, with planned burns and shifts in orbit. So this is just one example of some very early gameplay in ELF 100 Space. From here, we play scenarios with different types of orbits, like equatorial, polar, and geosynchronous, and develop the technology and techniques to get our brave Kerbal astronauts back to the ground. We'll be collecting science on the way, too. You can see as we zoom out that there's a whole solar system out there in the Kerbal universe waiting to be explored. If you want to learn more about realistic spaceflight, go to elf-enrichment.com.